Hello and welcome to webmastercampus.com. Today we are going to learn Bootstrap Forms. Bootstrap Forms or forms are basically the essential part of any website or application you are using. Either you are developing a complex e-commerce website or designing or developing a basic web page, you will find that you need to use form. Either in the form of some contact page where user can submit or information or request for a code, or you are going to define a social media website or any services website where user needs to enter username or password, or even sometimes most of the website are offering newsletter, so you just need to give the email and subscription button. So in this lesson, we will explore forms, how we can manipulate forms or give it a better design or responsive design using Bootstrap. Let's get started. Here I am on form.html page. In this page, I have just included the Bootstrap CSS file and created a container and a row over here. Okay. So let's go and define our form. What I'm going to do, I'm defining a form. You can define any get post form or like for the method, and I am going to put this row inside a form because in the form there will be multiple rows that will be containing our different columns where we have a input elements or headings. Okay. So I have defined a row. Now I am going to create columns. I am going to say div.col-sm-3. Okay, so it will define a 3 column. Now let's replicate with this with a 9 column. Okay, so we will have 2 columns, 3 by 9. And if you define this row as a part of a form, so you can just make to apply this form group class to this. Okay, and then we will go inside of it, a first one, and defining a label. This label will point to user ID. So I'm just going to give a user ID to this one. Okay, and here we go. And within this 9 span column, I'm going to define this is this one. Okay. So we are using a class with a form control into this, okay, and the user ID which we use with the for, we need to keep this same. If you want to change this in a lowercase ID, then you need to replace it in the for as well. Okay, so here we are. Now I'm going to open this form.html, and you can see this is just showing a form like this. And if you want to add some top level padding, I can give a md-3, so it will give you top level padding. Oops, I am giving the margin top at the wrong one. I was giving in the form. So okay, we need to give a top padding inside of this row, so I am just giving the md-3, and here we go. So it just applied the top padding for this row. Okay, right now they are taking the full screen like this one. If I'm going to expand it, so you can see it is just going to show you like this. If you just want to control the spacing of this, you can call this SM, form control SM, form control MD. So this will give a nice look. So just if you are looking some more less size input box, then you can apply form control SM, MD, LG, whatever you needed as per your design. LG, let's just increase the height. So I'm not going to give anything because I just need the full width of the screen. So here we are. This user ID comprised of 3 columns, and this one consists of or comprised of 9 columns. Okay. Now I'm going to take a copy of this and going to apply this again. Now we are going to change. I need a password. Let's suppose user ID password. Okay, and just going to give a cap password like this. Now I am going to copy this password to user ID and the name, and we just need to change this password because once we start typing in the password, it will show dot or static. So just like it's showing dots over here. So that's why we just need to convert this into a password box like this. We can also give an email like this. I am going to call this an email, and here we are, email over here. And this we are just going to change the ID and name and type. Here we go with the email over here. After that, just taking user ID, password, and email, then what we can do after that, we can just create a submit button. I'm again going to take a copy of this line of code. I am just going to remove this first column. Okay, and after this, I am going to remove this, and within this, I'm going to create a input. Or you can just create a submit button, whatever the way you need it, and you can call this submit. Okay, value is submit, and you can apply the class, let's suppose btn primary. So it will give a nice look to your button. Here we go, but this button is just appearing on the top, on the left side of your column. So if I need the button just below the input boxes, so what I need to do, over here, like Bootstrap provides you 12 columns, but we are just utilizing the 9 columns. So what we can call this, we can call the class offset col-3 or offset, let's call offset sm3. So what it did, it just give a 3 column spacing on the left side of 9 column. Okay, so you can give some spacing on the left side by using offset sm3, offset md3, or I just started using from the small devices, just give a 3 column spacing. So here we have just created a nice looking form. We have utilized the form group. We have used the form, this one. But if you notice, like this user ID looks like some like the upper part of the just column. So what you need to do, you need to define a class, and you can call this call form label. Okay, so you can see the password just moves the centralized string, because when you create a horizontal forms with the grid by adding row class, you can add form groups to give it a form loop, and call dash form label to specify the width of your label, and controls, be sure to add dot form column label to your label, so they are vertically centered and with their associated input control. So I am going to assign this to every label that we have, like this one, and I need to give it to this one. Okay, so now they are more vertically centralized with respect to their input elements. Form control we have learned that form control can be a small or something MD you want. You can control this by applying this one. Okay, let's suppose form MD, so it will be a just compact size input element. Okay, now let's go and define a select element. Let's take a copy of this class, and I'm going to call this subscription. And in this subscription, within the input, I'm just going to define a select. Okay, the select element, and in the name is subscription, and ID also is subscription, and this is for subscription. Okay, so here we are with the subscription, and within this I am going to define option. Okay, and option values are different values. Let's define first with 0, or I'm going to define select over here, and within this let's take a copy of this one, and I'm going to call this 1 year subscription. Okay, the next one is 6 month subscription or 3 month subscription. Okay, so we are offering 3 models of subscription over here, but this looks pretty nice, pretty basic. You can just include the form select class to it, and it will show you like a fancy Bootstrap select. Okay, just drop down and it is look like this. Okay, you can also define the checkbox if you need it. You can now let's define checkbox. I am just going to give you the example of checkbox. Let's suppose we just need to create a checkbox that will just show you the terms and conditions. So let's take a input, and in this input I am going to say this is a checkbox. So here we are, and let's define terms over here, and the ID is same as terms. And this checkbox I am going to define the class form check dash input. So you can just define it. It is just coming after the email. I have wrongly defined this, so I am just going to move it after the select option before the submit. Here we go, the checkbox is coming. I am going to define a, let's suppose offset SM3. So this will look like this in the checkbox. After that I am going to define a label, and this label is for terms. Okay, and you can define a class to it, form check dash label, and it will give a label, and I'm going to terms and conditions. Okay, just make it agree. To terms and condition, here we are. You look like it looks like a box over here. You can make it fancy by just applying it a form, this parent div, and you can say form switch. So switch will make a fancy looking checkbox. Alright guys, maybe you have noticed this checkbox is not working. Why? Because I have given a space unexpectedly in the type. Okay, so I'm just going to remove this space over here. There is a space. I just click on this and just remove the spacing. Once you remove the spacing, you will find that it will start working. Okay, it will start working with the basic, and we can again make this form switch. So form switch will give you a fancy, nice looking terms and condition box using Bootstrap. Okay, I hope this lesson will give you enough knowledge, so you're going to start working on your Bootstrap forms, and it will be beneficial and easy for you. Now, thank you for watching this video.